dioxide is the primary greenhouse gas emitted through human activities, and it's from those activities which involve combustion of fossil fuels, which are coal, natural gas, and oil for energy, transportation, and industrial activities. The United Nations has said that these emitted fossil fuels are causing irreversible damage to the planet, as shown in rising global temperatures, including floods, droughts, extinction of species, and ocean acidification. The way out? Going green. So, let's go green on this episode of Big Story. I'm Innie Thompson. Data released by the United States Department of Energy's Carbon Dioxide Information Analysis Center shows that in 2010, Nigeria released 0.23% of the world's total annual emission of carbon dioxide at almost 0.5 tons per capita. Although this is a far cry from the contribution of countries like China, which adds about 25% to the world's total emission with about 6.2 tons per capita, and the United States with 16% at about 17.6 tons per capita. The carbon dioxide release traps heat within the atmosphere, and according to the World Health Organization, with the increase of emissions, climate models project that average surface temperature will rise by 1.1 degrees centigrade to 6.4 degrees centigrade over the 21st century. This rise in temperature is what has been described as extreme temperatures, which could either be hot or cold. But in both cases, the World Health Organization says the implication on human living is negative, affecting clean air, safe drinking water, sufficient food, and secure shelter.
We can no longer afford to burn our way to prosperity. We have to transform our economies and seize the opportunities of low-carbon future. There is no plan B because there is no planet B.
Extreme high temperatures contribute directly to deaths from cardiovascular and respiratory diseases. Pollen levels are also higher in extreme heat and can trigger asthma, which affects about 300 million people. A WHO assessment concludes that climate change is expected to cause approximately 250,000 additional deaths per year between 2030 and 2050. 38,000 due to heat exposure in elderly people, 48,000 due to diarrhea, 60,000 due to malaria, and 95,000 due to childhood undernutrition.
The influence on the climate system is clear. And the more we disrupt our climate, the more we risk severe, pervasive, and irreversible impacts. Fortunately, we have the means to limit climate change and build a more prosperous, sustainable future. Now, this is where there are some who resist the power of science, the truth that science brings to us. And I think these denials of climate change have to be met head-on.
Apart from the health implications, WHO also records that the number of weather-related natural disasters have more than tripled since 1960. Variable rainfalls are likely to affect supply of fresh water and likely to increase the intensity of drought at regional and global scale.
Now, when you have increased temperature over time, scientific reports have showed that the ozone layer, is the covering over the earth is reduced, and it has created so much damages or changes in the environment. The sea level is rising, the atmospheric temperature is rising. As we speak, is shooting beyond 1.4 degrees centigrade per year. And the world is saying, look, the entire drought, desertification. So the world is saying, look, we cannot allow this to get to tipping point of 2 degrees centigrade because everywhere will be scorching. So it's a problem with Nigeria. Nigerian farmers, when farms are flushed, because that's where we feel it, as a developing economy. We feel it when there are no production or the whole thing, and you spend money to rehabilitate the farms, you spend money to rehabilitate the farmers, and things like that. Now, these are part of the ones we are feeling now.
The issue of climate change and the consequences it brings to the planet has been of great concern to everyone, irrespective of their residence in developed or developing countries. And so it is everyone's responsibility to act in ways that will reduce the emission of carbon dioxide. The World Health Organization advocates for national policies, and earlier in 2015, the Executive Board endorsed a new work plan which includes partnership to coordinate with partner agencies within the United Nations system, raise awareness to provide and disseminate information on the threats that climate change presents to human health, and science and evidence to coordinate reviews of the scientific evidence and to develop global research agenda.
The basic business of government here is to find a policy that tries to have a middle path that allows for both economic growth and environmental protection. And that is always the problem. So what we need is an integrated approach. We are both development planners, environmental activists, environmental planners, lawyers, and everybody involved in this develop a document that accommodates our national aspirations while ensuring that there will be a good environment for our children to live in.
The organization has also called attention to individual choices that have the potential to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and produce major health co-benefits. For example, cycling or walking as alternative to using private vehicles. In cooking, which is a major source of carbon dioxide emissions, the use of biofuel has been employed. One of the strategies already in use in Nigeria is the use of ethanol, which is made into gel.
Our ethanol actually is different from the conventional ethanol that the food grade that we have in the market that is produced from sugarcane, cassava, and some other food that people consume. Our ethanol is gotten from it's called second generation bioethanol. It's gotten from biomass, okay? We use feedstock to actually extract our own ethanol. So what we're using majorly is water hyacinth and sawdust. Okay, that's what we're using. But our technology actually absorbed a lot of other feedstock like grasses, the cassava peels, the waste from food stuff. So our technology admits that also. The ethanol itself is a clean fuel. But for us to make sure that it's very safe for people to use, that's why we decided to take a step further to make it gel and still not have health effects. Okay, so we convert it to gel so that children too can use it.
Alongside the health advantages, Mr. Ologunoye highlights economic advantages.
When you are talking about gas, how many people can actually afford the gas? How many people have the safety caution using gas to cook? So these are other things that we need to put into consideration, not minding the fact that the gel itself is quite affordable and cheaper for people to use. People in the bottom of the pyramid, the BOP, they can actually pick a bottle of gel as low as 100 naira to cook their course meal. They can't buy they can't buy gas in a quick meal like that. But the gel is available in different categories. I use gas, for example, myself before. I know how long my gas serves me. My gas don't take more than 28 days for me, my 12.5 kg. But today, I use just 3 liters of biofuel gel, 4 bottles in a month. And that cost me less than 2,000 naira. So definitely, to me, it's cheaper. Initially, when I started using it, a lot of people spend, my wife uses more than 12 bottles. But over time, she got to understand it, the principle that makes it to work. Because it's not heat that makes it to cook. It's the steam technology that it uses. Just like you are using your pressure pot to cook. You cook your food faster and your nutrients, the food nutrients, they are intact. It won't escape.
Although the ultimate goal remains the reduction of fossil fuel in the environment,
we're actually going to reduce carbon to the barest minimum. Okay, we are displacing all these fossil fuels, all this charcoal, firewood burning, and all these dirty fuels that is available today in the market. That is why we're introducing the biofuel gel, because it's going to take that place. Like I said earlier, the byproduct of the gel, when you burn it, because it doesn't have any carbon at all, it doesn't have any soot, it won't stain your pot, and the environment where you are cooking it becomes healthy. There are other health benefits that comes with the gel.